The trouble that we get into. Other than a while here once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. It's all we'll ever be. I got an early 6 weeks overdue. I got caught with a truck full of bootleg out of state food. Knocked my wife's down the ring last June. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Commander, we're all here. Welcome to the folks on the No Bull Network. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, you can always call us at 361-894-4020.
Anybody
if you want to weigh in on anything that we're talking about, or you got your own topic you want us to weigh in on, we're more than willing. Also want to welcome the folks in Corpus Christi on KTMV TV joining us this morning for the first time. Thank you for tuning in and giving the Wade and Carter Show a chance.
We love Corpus Christi. And I promise if we come down, we won't drink all your water.
No, we'll leave you some.
We'll leave you some water.
Yep.
I'm very excited.
I'm the Wade. He's the Carter. So there you go. That's
welcome to the program.
Who? Daniel Wade White, Scott Tomko, Jordan Glass in on the podium this morning. We're also available on Facebook and YouTube. So anywhere you want to go, if you can't catch all of the show right off the bat this morning, you can always check the entire show. And it's,
like on the off chance that we're saying something that's interesting,
yeah,
you can always go back and watch the show later. I'm very encouraged, highly welcome anybody from the new regions, from Goliad, from Karn City, from Cuero. If you're listening,
Gonzales.
Yes, absolutely. Love to have you call 894-4020. You can say, like they say, long-time listener, first-time caller. You can say, hey, new caller, new listener. We'd love to have you call.
Short time, first time.
If there's something you want to hear about, if you want to know our philosophy on something, feel free to call. We may not actually answer your question, but what we talk about will be interesting to us.
Absolutely. That's all that matters. It's been a show that's been entertaining us for 9 years, going on 10.
Yeah, it's called Wade and Carter. It's not Wade Carter and, y'all. It's just us. And the commander now has a voice.
Can we change the name?
No.
I was thinking about another seat.
No.
We could stutter like Wade is. Yeah, we could do that.
The West Coast Conference. Don't need to do that.
There you go. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the little gin that could for over 50 years.
Yep.
Since 1969, Deerland Feed has been meeting all your farm and ranch needs and those of the serious home gardener for sure.
/ grass mower.
Absolutely. 44 degrees in Victoria, Texas. The Democrat weather, it feels like 39 degrees. Ooh. It's how you feel. That's what matters. 39. High today is
technically the winter of 2025, and we're going to survive it?
We're going to rebuild. Yes.
We have to rebuild.
A high of 73. When it gets this cold, good news for our Corpus friends. I'm convinced it signals the end of the Texas hurricane season. And we've dodged a bullet this year. We've had no major storms in Texas, which is great.
It is great.
That's great. I want to know.
There's my favorite forecast app. Can't really use it on the air, but
yeah, no kidding.
He just likes the ladies talk to him.
Yeah. Who is your Siri voice?
I think it's the Aussie dude.
It's my wife.
You have your wife's voice.
Yeah, so no matter if I'm away from home or at home, I can get yelled at.
Right.
It works
I
out
like
well.
that. I have an Australian girl. There's an Australian, and yeah. My wife laughs at me, but I'm like, I think she's hot, in my vision. No,
So
that's nice.
There's mine.
Since
Yeah.
we're talking about stuff that's so important
Sure.
for all of our new listeners, let's plug our website, because you can also watch the show, but we put our news on there. If somebody comes on the air and they want to tell us something or have us share something out. So
It's difficult. It's wadeandcarter.com.
yeah, but it's definitely a place to check out. And if you miss the show, you can always catch it there.
And especially
Absolutely.
for the Corpus folks, if you haven't been able to read the writings of great sports writer Mike Foreman,
Oh yeah.
you can go to the website, wadeandcarter.com, but you can go to thesportsadvocate.com and sign up for his newsletter, which is just awesome. He's doing so many great articles. He used to write, say, one, maybe two a week for the Advocate.
Yeah.
But he does a whole bunch now.
Yeah.
There's
it's really good.
State House District Rep AJ Louderback checking in. Good morning, sir.
After the show, stop by Bloom and Flower, downtown Victoria. He will be there partaking in coffee with the judge, Judge Zeller's regular
Coffee with
feedback.
the judge.
Yeah, feedback loop. And so he'll be there till about 8:45 this morning. So stop on by after the show. We've got a guest later on, bottom of the hour. Michelle Chop is going to join us. She's with Texas Crime Victims United.
She an attorney?
No, I believe, but a victim of multiple violent crimes.
Oh, wow. So she
And-
knows what she's talking
Yeah,
about.
she absolutely knows what she's talking about.
There's Terry Murray,
Um,
Dana Moore de la Garza. Good morning. There's Ricky D. Good morning, sir. That's one of our city council members checking in.
And she's going to talk Proposition 3 on the ballot on Tuesday, the constitutional amendment. It's one of 17 on the ballot. Several, I will probably vote for, and there's a few that I will vote against, based on what I've looked at. So,
Well, as is your right.
absolutely, and I take it very seriously.
You may have been born in Canada, but you got here as quick as you could.
Certainly did. See who else is checking in on the social media. Ricky King, Mark Kurtz, Marvin Mickish, Monty Howard, Lisa
Monty.
Poole, Greg Garcia, Torrin Bales, Patrick Strauss, Chris Conrad, good morning. Micah Patton,
It's always
Jackie
good to see
Parsons.
the school board represent. Good morning, Micah Patton.
Stephen and Carter Castaneda checking in.
Hey,
Keen
Carter.
Arterberry,
Carter's a great guest host.
Tammy Keeling, Tommy Kingston, Scott Tomko. Let's bring up the First State Bank World Series update, because the Astros aren't in it this year, but
Very rare.
very rare. But Trey Savage was a savage last night, just mowing down the Dodgers, 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. Blue Jays got out to an early lead, couple of back-to-back solo home runs in the first. I think the first two batters of the game.
Yeah.
And kind of put Mr. Snell in a bit of a tizzy, and
Boy, he's a stud, though.
he
Blake
pitched well.
Snell can bring
Yeah,
it.
a lot of pitchers might have got a little bit. That could have been a disastrous first inning, but he
I love John
Pared down.
Schmaltz. And when Schmaltz talks about, well, he's got such a high release point, it really makes his slider do crazy things. It's always fascinating to listen to people that really know the
pitching.
craft
yeah.
talk about what they're doing. Yeah, Scott Tunker's first 3 pitches were,
Yeah.
out of control.
It was interesting the other night to hear Schmaltz say that Ohtani could live on his fastball alone at the major league level and
Yeah,
be
that's
successful.
crazy.
Isn't it, though? It's just absolutely crazy.
Although
but-
the Blue Jays did live on his fastball as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
What do you get, like 45 minutes sleep between the
Between-
18-inning game and the
Exactly.
start?
Yeah, I thought that was probably tough to come back from playing 18 and then having to pitch. But I will tell you this about Savage, and this is a guy, I mean, he started off in the year in extended spring training in Florida and was in the majors by September. Was basically the September call-up, got a couple of starts, and then next thing you know, What did he
Starts the
struck-
first game of the World Series.
yeah, and well, in his first postseason game against the Yankees, he struck out 11 and set a Blue Jays record.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, his slider is like just boom,
Yeah.
crazy. It
And
has a
Schmaltz
weird
kept saying
movement,
it falls off the table. It falls off the table.
and it does. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run in that 7 innings yesterday. Blue Jays now a win away from taking the World Series back to Canada for the first time in 32 years, something like that.
Yep. There's
93.
Chief Deputy Will Franklin from the Victoria County Sheriff's Office. Good morning, sir. Welcome in.
You know what's really interesting, and and I've been saying this for a long time, but maybe because the Blue Jays are having success doing it this way, minus the 2 home runs back to back to start the game, the last 2 games, their big innings have come off miscues, taking advantage of them, running. They're good on the base pass. They steal bases. They're aggressive on the base pass. But they don't rely on the home run. They don't rely on the 3-run home run to have a big inning. They're fine hitting a single. They're fine going with a pitch the other way down the line for extra bases.
Well, it doesn't hurt that their team batting average is about 285. You know, I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. You can hit 285. You can have a bunch of 300 hitters on your team, and you can still be very productive and drive in runs. You don't need to hit 220 with 45 home runs and 100 RBIs.
like the Astros do sometimes.
More or less.
We've talked about that. We've talked about the Astros are working on launch angle while other people are working on winning World Series.
But it's going to take a team to have success doing it that way, like the Blue Jays have done, for baseball to shift their mindset, because everybody thinks it's all about launch angle and home runs. And I hate to say it, it's the casual fan likes the home run. Waiting for that and watching everybody pop the ball up to straightaway center field is boring baseball.
Chris Conrad says, hey, Blue Jays baseball is death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They do it well.
You look around and you're like it's like getting stuck with the rapier. There's blood everywhere, but you feel no pain. You don't know what happened. They didn't do anything. You know, how many times do you think when you're playing the Blue Jays, the defense says, nobody hurt. Oh, double, single, double.
And what's interesting, their series in July against the Dodgers is the reason the Blue Jays have home field advantage in this World Series. They won the rubber match.
If the Dodgers find a way to win this World Series, you know that Ohtani at this point has got to be the MVP. But it's just amazing that the other night he's on base 9 times, and he has 4 hits, 2 homers, and a double. I mean, you know, either
and
one.
a little more lift than that doubles a home
Oh,
run,
yeah.
because he hit that ball hard, bounced at the base of the wall. But tomorrow they'll resume that series in Toronto. Going to be an interesting series. Nobody gave the Blue Jays a chance at this series started.
No, everybody thought the Dodgers huge payroll, the Dodgers are the Yankees. You know, I mean, it's just the West Coast Yankees is who they are.
Yeah.
Huge payroll, huge money. Junior Stample says, hey, Corpus, they don't always talk about sports, but when they do, just saying. Yeah, speaking of, I'm a huge Hooks fan. I love going down and watching. I've watched Justin Verlander pitch in Corpus. I've watched Framber Valdez pitch in Corpus. I've watched Altuve play in Corpus. Great venue, great ballpark. Right next to the what I used to call the high-level bridge that they're deconstructing.
Apparently, that's stopping and starting. They've had some issues trying to get that bridge down. Somebody from Corpus, give us a call, 361-894-4020.
Yeah, feel free.
I'd like to know why such a love affair with a bridge.
It was the I don't know before I think the bridge was there and since maybe the 50s, I don't know, 60s. I don't know how you got to Gregory Portland before then. I mean, how did you get it?
I guess you went up 37 and then back down and around.
Wow, what a pain.
I guess maybe some farm to market.
Well, it's no different than when we were kids here in town and the loop didn't exist. You had to go downtown, folks, and out 59, you had to cross the Moody Street Bridge and go out towards Goliad to take a right at Golden Hill to go to Upper Mission Valley Road.
Yeah.
I would just stayed home.
Oh, no, I mean,
and hoped it didn't rain and flood the road.
Yeah, and now you just go right around the loop, take a right. All that land, like overnight, doubled in value because it's accessible. It used to be a pain in the fan to get out there.
So what do you make? What do you make of? Should we take our first break and then
we can.
Some things?
We're going to make our breaks quick because there's just so much to talk about, folks. Palace Bingo next week. Not next week. Yeah, next week, the 13th.
No, I guess 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Anyway, November 13th, where Friends Meet Friends, Palace Bingo. Come out and join Wade and Carter night. Love to have you folks come in from out of town and come hang out with us. The food's great. Believe it or not, it's an old bowling alley. Bingo.
Bingo hall.
It's a blast.
It is
we have
a
a
lot of
blast.
fun.
Wade and Carter night. In a little over 3 years of doing this, only 2 times have we not had
3 now.
3
You
now.
weren't there last time.
3 times had a Wade and Carter patron not win significant funds. USA Concrete Coatings, based right there in Corpus Christi. Charlie Garcia, the Scene Cowboy, can help you sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done to your concrete. He can do it. Level your driveway. He can also put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't
Crack stick peel or fade.
He can do it. Veracruz Restaurant, the best Tex-Mex in Victoria. Come to town and hang out with Lee and Ida. They have the best salsa, the best queso, homemade guac, homemade. Yeah, their salsa's incredible.
Yeah, really is. Just the right amount of heat.
Absolutely. If you're in this region, Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. They have a depot in Refugio as well. Anywhere you are,
Gonzalez,
they can help you.
Guerrero.
Reach out to Allen's Wrecker Service. White Trash Services. White Trash is in all the counties that we are talking to today, whether you're in Karnes City, Goliad, wherever. White Trash Services can help you. Give them a call at 550-1826. The great thing is you'll talk to a human being. And then Went Services. Went for all your general electrical needs and for turnkey generator service. Generac generators made right here in the USA. What do you want to talk about Trump and China?
Well, yeah, I mean, he made his tour through Southeast Asia. Basically, here's what nobody's giving him credit for. Cambodia and Thailand were on the verge of like all-out war earlier this year, and Trump basically told them, look, you petulant children,
Yes.
simmer down, or we're going to not fund your war because we're going to cut off all trade with you.
2 basic dictatorships. Neither one. I mean, I don't think we have a problem with either one. We don't really have a dog in that fight.
No.
I was listening to Frances Martell this morning on Breitbart. Man, she's sharp.
She's really
because Mike Slater will go, what's going on in what do you make of South Korea?
I think she's the best global reporter
Oh,
there is
folks.
in any media outlet. Even if you don't like Breitbart, Frances Martell is just very good at giving you the facts in her articles. When she gets on radio, she'll espouse a little opinion here or there, but she's still very good about the facts.
But she and Slater were just talking, and she says about, remember earlier in the year when the South Korean president elected, in a democratic election, that he declared martial law. He got paranoid. He decided that everybody was out to get him. So they ousted him. And she said, South Korea is a very serious country. So then they installed the guy that lost the election, who's is a communist,
huge
leftist.
Yeah.
And they said, well, his deal is because he's such a leftist and he's not upset about communism, literally, which, by the way, in New York City, that's just how close you are to it. He turns around and starts wanting to visit with Kim Jong-un. Well, she said this actually plays into the U.S. hand because Donald Trump has a relationship, she said, a personal friendship with Kim Jong-un. So it makes his ability, the U.S. ability to negotiate and visit with the extreme leftist guy who looks up to Kim Jong-un, it makes Trump's ability to negotiate with that guy even better, which is why Trump's coming home with that huge crown, which is just, I'm convinced, just can't wait to trigger the left that he's got a crown.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't already, I mean, the No Kings protests weren't enough. This crown that he got from South Korea, which is about 6 feet tall, is it's gonna make the left go nuts.
Sounds bad?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of reports coming in on YouTube and Facebook that our sound is cutting in and out.
I don't understand that. I don't know if
Can we reboot the YouTube Facebook machine?
could be mine.
Okay.
That said, so I don't know. Is there a game
I'll-
over there?
No, it's. I haven't touched anything. I'll bring the levels down a little bit.
So we have so many things going on right now with Facebook, YouTube, Magic 95.9 FM, the TV station in Corpus, and the Noble Network. If we are overwhelming our system, we apologize. It's a lot like racing, right? You add more horsepower, then you blow transmission, you beef up the transmission. We're kind of turning this thing into what they are. So we're gonna make
Absolutely.
yeah.
Let me know if that's.
I think now South Korea is helping control. I'll leave. I don't know.
Interesting. Apparently, he got G to agree to kind of slow down.
China's been raising slavery. Now we become Australia. Well, we're going to get you a very good place. What's our Folks, we apologize. I will tell you, bigger programs have the same problem. See, but it is frustrating. I just want to
It's fast enough. We should be fine. But the fact that we're having radio issues was worrying me.
Are we overwhelming our system? Should we?
Nope. Internet looks.
Scott, you got to give me more.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it was ideal. I meant to say it should be enough.
Although our upload is actually twice as fast.
I could
now,
do a show,
which is better. I mean,
for
that's the one that's important.
TV audience. I could do the show sign. Subtitles are available. Believe it or not. We could do that.
I think you can,
Whatever
do,
you
I think you can
did.
do those on.
Get ready to
Huh?
Just deal with it. Yeah, just
And that,
I don't know.
I don't know either. Might be time for some new microphones as well.
Find that hard to
Me
believe.
too.
Says it can only hear Cody.
Can't hear them.
Cody, be interesting.
Cody's clear.
Well, wouldn't you like to know how interesting I can be?
Yes, go.
Why don't you guys come over here and talk on my microphone?
Better. It's fixed it. Okay.
I don't know. I don't
have
know
no
what
idea.
is it just Tommy? I mean, is it just Cody?
Maybe.
Can we change the logo? I'm still wanting the logo
Yeah, no.
changed.
People were saying there were issues, but I think we got it fixed now. So that's good.
I don't know. Is it where it needed to be on that deal?
There we go. Now we're good. So
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So see, folks, what we did there. If you really
You don't even know.
right, I have no idea. I have no idea.
What I did there was just start turning knobs and dials, and somehow it fixed.
Sounds like my first honeymoon.
It's not really fixed, but it's
It's
back to
better.
where it was before, which is just crappy sound that's loud.
Junior Sample says Cody is bucking for a raise.
Or anything.
Say anything.
Cody's audio is hot. Ours is,
There you go. Well,
which is interesting
sound
because
good.
they're all at the same level.
It's crazy. Maybe there's a little short in the board. You know what? One time, we're so high tech here. He took this soundboard home and he fired up a
Can of air.
can of air and blew it out. Maybe you need to bring a can of air and blow it out again. Dust gets in there, things start shorting. And there you go.
Tomorrow we'll have to resurrect that.
I can't guarantee that it's the board.
Ooh, resurrected
Now they say-
on
Now
Halloween.
everyone's cutting out and Ash is still chopping.
That's how we want him.
Well, I will tell you this, and I'm just saying this to the team. I'd rather shut it down at 7:30 and be done with it and get it right by tomorrow than flounder along and have everybody tell me for the next 30 minutes that we suck.
We might have to do that.
We don't suck. We now return you to your earlier scheduled broadcast.
Let's see what that does. Let's see if that does. I don't know.
I don't know. You did mess with that earlier. We've got
I haven't messed with it at all. I checked it earlier, but let's see if that fixes it.
we have
I don't
a
know.
guest calling later. Not yet.
Yeah, coming in at 7:30. So, yeah. I don't know. See if that.
I think it sounds okay. There's a gurgly kind of ruffling of
That
paper
could be
sound
me.
under it, but you can hear us now, and it's not breaking.
All
so
right.
I say let's keep the ship going.
There you go. That's our technical advisor.
As the producer, the show must go on.
Daniel White says, shut down all the dark websites you have in the background.
Do you think maybe it's that it's you porn? Is that what's got us?
Could be OnlyFan.
OnlyFan. I went to your OnlyFan page the other day.
You're the only
interesting.
fan.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm the
you.
only one. Yeah.
Oh, are we still supposed to do that for him?
Like when you wear your members only jacket and I ask you, are you the last member?
Last one.
Mm.
What do you make of the? Once again, there seems to be a rash of kids in the Victoria ISD making bomb threats and other such
Stupid
stupid
kids. They're
threats.
about 5 years
An
late
elementary
on
kid at Allo Elementary the other day made one. So, they didn't give the grade. They didn't do anything to identify this kid. Got
Cuff
taken to
him.
juvie. But what are we talking at most 11 years old?
that. Yeah, cuff him.
And the
Take
kid
him to
made
jail.
it. Oh, I've got a bomb.
And when his parents show up, cuff them and put them in jail. Parents, tell your kids to quit being stupid. Yeah, Ricky King says y'all suck today. Why just today? Why can't it be? By the way,
Every day.
Heather Stewart says that we're on 100.1. That's in Cuero, and says we sound great there. So let's just press on. I did see Joe Adams yesterday at the Farm and Ranch show. He's got a project he's doing that make Texas ag great. What's the show called?
Yeah,
It's good. I have watched it.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not a bad show.
it's
I don't
good.
remember the name of it.
He's
It's not
such a
bad show.
nice gentleman. Really an interesting guy.
Let's grow Texas Ag.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. Thank you. That see right there, folks.
There's
That's
the
what
value
Cody
he
does for the
brings.
program.
He
That's
is my
what-
wife's uncle, so I already knew the name of it.
Is that right?
He's
Yes,
like
sir.
that guy in the majors that hits 210 and once in a while hits a home run to keep his job. That's
Yeah,
what Cody
Cody's
just
the
did.
guy.
Right there.
Sometimes I just wait to give you info so it looks like I had to look it up.
What did that thousands flock where? 21.
It's just ad.
Oh, it's just an
Stupid
ad.
I'm trying to actually get to some content.
Well, there you go. Moron Samdami. What's his name?
No, I think you nailed it. Moron.
They're going to put that guy as the mayor of New York.
What was the latest that he said the other day? That it was just absolutely ridiculous that he has absolutely no authority to do.
That's right. It's
And
crazy.
it's just another one of his mind-numbing things, and this just shows you the low IQ of the voter, because the voters are actually believing that he has the ability to do these things.
Yeah.
And if council goes along with it, then they all need to go. They all need to be voted out. But
Melissa Henson says, I had to tell my brother to stop being stupid by posting I'm an Antifa, posting no kings and protested. Now he's not talking to me. Well, that's a win-win for you.
Yeah.
You gave him a tidbit of information, and you no longer have to talk to an idiot. So, yeah, that's good, Melissa. Good job.
tell them to keep posting I am Antifa, because now that they're a terrorist organization,
Yeah. I don't
he'll
understand
be
it.
guaranteed 3 hots and a cot.
It is interesting, though, that this Antifa, people say, well, they have no leadership. They have no headquarters. They have no board of directors, if you will. But it's interesting how you show up at your local I need a dose of misery protest, and all the signs match, and they're all professionally printed. And it's almost like, okay, well, then who's doing this? If it's just a bunch of like-minded people getting together to talk about situations they don't approve of. Who did the signs? It's always interesting to me.
Yeah.
Read it. President Trump said the two leaders agreed on almost everything and
According to
reached a trade
CNN.
deal that could be signed pretty soon. Is that CNN, Ron? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that CNN being that positive. What do you make of President Trump last night in the wake of this, then deciding that, well, you know what, we might start nuclear bomb testing again?
I don't know, unless he's just trying to find a way to subtly threaten Russia. What happened to Ukraine? Has anybody talked about Ukraine in the last week?
No,
It
there
was
seems to be-
top of mind every day.
Are they still around?
I
They
guess. I mean, nobody knows what's going on with them.
There seems to be more problems with Russians in Polish airspace these days than what they're actually doing in Ukraine. I know it's still going on, but
And there's still not much talk of the fact that Israel's really upset in the Gaza with Hamas again. What's up with that?
that I don't know.
Do we not what?
Nothing. I just got a text. She's joining us, so
Oh, how do we join her?
she should show up there, and then we can bring her on the show.
Yeah. There you go.
I've got her banner ready to go.
Love that.
Let's take our break and we wait for our next guest to join us, or our only guest today.
Folks, Atzenoffer and Atzenoffer.com inviting everyone within our voice range to come buy a new Chevy pickup right here in sunny Victoria. Come on in. Chevys, Mitsubishis. They also have a huge lot, I mean a really big lot, of pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles. Come on in and you will be thrilled with what you find at Atzenoffer. For over, well, right at 100 years. Since 1926, Atzenoffer has been Victoria's car dealer. You can go to Atzenoffer.com and find the vehicle you want, and they'll have it ready when you get here. Cheswick Furniture for all your furniture needs, bedding, Tempur-Pedic bedding, Sealy Posturepedic, and Stearns & Foster.
They'll deliver in the area as well. So
Absolutely. Cheswick and Love make your house a home. Get in and see why you just always do better at Cheswick.
Dollar Floor Store in Victoria. They've got a store in Rockport. The cheapest, the most inexpensive flooring you will find anywhere. It's all brand name.
Yeah, this is not a discount store.
No.
It's just the name of the store is Dollar Floor Store.
Because they have prices under $1. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Quality carpet for 79 cents a square foot.
And
You're
then
not going to find those prices anywhere.
Paravita Wellness and the Vita Cafe. Paravita Wellness, your home for gluten-free, preservative-free. I mean, just great meals. Give them your macros. Give them your doctors. Give them your blood work. They will help you. So there you go. I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to go back so we can get to our guest.
Michelle's here. I'll make sure that the computer is working properly.
You're going to
So,
split screen this
Yeah.
thing? The whole
I'm
high dollar
adding her to
deal?
the stage, and here she comes. There she is. Good morning, Michelle.
Good
How
morning.
are you? Good. We can
I'm
hear you.
wonderful. How are
Clearly,
y'all?
nobody else can hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Ooh, the live captioning seems to be working too.
Could you, we haven't met yet. Welcome to the program. But is there any way that while we have this conversation, you could maybe just go play some type of interlude on that beautiful piano behind you? Or is that just
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
look.
screen you put up? Yeah. Yeah,
You see
we
that?
love it. Beautiful. Well done. How are things?
We're good. We're good. We're just, gearing up for Tuesday. We've fought a long time to get something like this on the ballot, so we're pretty excited. So it's, stress and happiness and all of that all together. And thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and talk about this with you guys. Marnie speaks very highly of you guys, so here we are. I'm ready.
We fooled her once. I'm not sure we can do it twice.
We're visiting with Michelle Chapa from Texas Crime Victims United. Tell us a little bit about your backstory, Michelle, because I think it's interesting. You were a victim of violent crime multiple times. I mean, how does that happen?
So I used to be a store manager for AT&T Retail. And we had a store here in the Houston Heights that became a very high crime location just based off of where it was located on the freeway. And between 2018 and 2019, going into 2020, we had multiple aggravated armed robberies, several of them very violent. And I started having a lot of questions prior to all of this happening, as with most people, until you become a victim, you don't really understand what's going on. You don't know anything about the criminal justice system other than what you see on TV. And I was very confused about why we would have the same crews coming back to rob us several times. It was the same guys. And then, I have the armed robbery task force telling me, oh, well, we pick up these guys 2 weeks ago. We're going to get them again. And I'm like, how does this happen? How does someone go to jail for an aggravated armed robbery with a deadly weapon, AR-15s, pistols, and they're young. They're young and then get right back out and do it again. And I had no idea that Harris County had entered into the O'Donnell consent decree, basically allowing all misdemeanors to be given a PR or GOB bond instead of having to pay a cash or a surety bond. And then it kind of has bled over into felony court, and judges were saying their hands are tied. They have to give people bail unless they've been charged with something like capital murder, having an 11B hearing, proven that they're a risk. They just give them another bond and they're right back out, and then there's just no accountability.
Is that due to jail capacities? Is that where we're at? That there's
Well,
no
they
place
said,
to put
the
them?
jail's full, and then COVID, we're backlogged, and we're still backlogged from Harvey. And so people are staying in jail too long pre-trial. That's against their civil rights. The jail's full. The conditions are bad. So we should just let everybody out.
And so in the last year or so, or at least this last legislative session, I know in talking with Marnie Conrad, who she's told her story about her and Chris's son, Matthias, being murdered by a young murderer now who was again similarly let out on no bail over and over again for his violent conduct. I know you two cross paths, and she's very active in what you're doing, but she also testified before the state legislature about violent crime and criminal reform. And now you all are in support of Proposition 3 on the ballot. Tell us a little bit about Proposition 3 and why you feel it's so important for Texas voters to pass Proposition 3.
Absolutely. So when we first started asking questions years ago, and why are you letting these repeat offenders out on bond? Andy Cohn with Crime Stoppers was working with Fox 26, Randy Wallace, and they had this whole series, Breaking Bond, and they kept bringing attention to all these cases where somebody's been let out on a PR bond and gone on to commit more violent felonies, or people that are on multiple bonds. And when we asked, the judges would always say, our hands are tied. We have to give them bail. And we all collectively decided that needed to change. So Proposition 3 is going to add some of our most violent, disgusting felonies we have in the state of Texas as a charge, where a judge can, after having a hearing, deny bail for repeat violent habitual offenders who are already out on bond for multiple violent felonies, somebody that is a high flight risk. So we're not talking, a first time offender, low level misdemeanor, nonviolent. These are the worst of the worst. Kidnapping, sexual assault, murder, obviously, aggravated assault if it's with a deadly weapon. These kinds of charges that should scare anybody in the community are now being added to what right now is only capital murder.
Why does this need a constitutional amendment? Why do we have to go down this road? Can't judges already do this, or is it because they're not doing it, or they don't have the ability to do this?
They can. They're not doing it, and they're saying because the Constitution that we have in Texas right now, it states that offenders have to get bail, and it has to be non-oppressive. And they've used this excuse to say that their hands are tied. So now we've said, okay, let's change the Constitution. Then times have changed. We haven't amended the Constitution for a very long time. Situations have changed, times have changed, and if you're telling me your hands are tied, I'm going to do a favor and untie them for you. And unfortunately, it had to escalate to where we have to put it into the Constitution, because Judges are not doing their jobs.
Well, it's
Um,
like things have changed in the form that when the Texas Constitution was written, number one, you didn't have AT&T cell phone stores, and number two, you didn't have repeat multiple offenders. If somebody got arrested or something and somehow got out on bail, in stereotype, they laid low, they didn't cause problems. They didn't look at it as, well, there's my get out of jail free card. I don't have any money, but it can't be oppressive, so you've got to let me out. And I mean, the times have changed. Now, people could turn around and say, I make the same argument against the Second Amendment, and I would say no, because all we need there is the enforcement of existing laws. In this case, it's just the opposite. We need to change the law because enforcement of the current Constitution puts bad people back on the street.
Correct.
So I know that you have a proponent here in our district. Our state representative AJ Louderback is a career law enforcement guy, and have you met Sheriff Louderback?
I hold a very, very special place in my heart for Sheriff Louderback.
Amen.
He is he's an amazing, amazing man. And yes, absolutely. He's one of my favorite people.
So he's going to be a proponent of anything that empowers law enforcement. Especially like it's not like he's a dictator, but he's absolutely supporting law enforcement. So we're very, very thrilled for that.
Explain if I read the proposition correctly. There's a provision in here or a requirement of judges that will actually hold them accountable to why or why not they decide to let somebody out on no bail who after they have this hearing. Explain this a little bit, because I think this is a game changer for some of the folks that might be sitting on the fence on this one and saying, well, I don't know that we need to amend the Constitution, but I think this piece to me is the game changer and maybe what will push people over the edge, because now there's a mechanism in here that will actually put judges on the record and hold them accountable. Can you explain that a little bit more, please?
Yeah. So what we were seeing is, in the court records, when they have bail hearings now, or when judges are, giving bail, it's very, very short. It's just, here's their bail amount, but there's no reasoning going into it. So, back in the day when we had a bail schedule, whatever you were charged with, that's how much your bail amount was set to. If you got charged again, there's an enhancement, it goes up. We don't have that anymore. The discretion in the state of Texas goes to the judges alone, and there's no visibility or accountability in their actions on whether or not they decided to give or deny bail in a case. So now with this, when they have their hearing, you're allowing, the burden is on the state to prove that this person is violent, a risk to the community, or a flight risk. And then the defense is allowed to then present evidence as to why they feel like they should not be denied bail. Whatever that decision is will have to then be put into writing. The judge will have to submit the reasoning into writing, which becomes a part of the permanent court record on why they chose to continue to give bail to somebody who is obviously a risk. And then that brings transparency into the whole process. It's trackable. We're able to see if judges are continuing to make the wrong decisions or why they made a decision, because now we look at a case, we don't know why were you, and so we're asking questions after the fact. Why did you give this person another bond? And then they just tell us, these are my judicial things, I can't tell the public.
Will this allow for judges to quote unquote be held accountable? I mean, is there a way that a judicial overview committee could come and say, look, Judge Chapa, what the hell? You let him back out? I mean, the guy's robbed that same AT&T store 4 times. You let him out, and this time he got more brazen and killed somebody that walked through the door. That's on you, Judge. Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, so right now we have the SCJC, our State Commission on Judicial Conduct, and you can file complaints there to have a judge sanctioned, admonished, removed. Eventually, they can recommend for a judge to be removed to the higher authorities. And so having accountability and visibility will allow us to be able to file complaints to the SCJC to be able to recommend them. And so right now, as we're trying to go through and look at the, what we're going to complain about, they just use their judicial discretion as a way of making something not transparent. And then it gets to the committee and there's just not enough evidence to show that they did something intentionally or what. So having it visible is going to give us more power. And that also goes into Prop 12, which is a whole nother conversation. But given this committee visibility of what judges are doing, so if you have judges that are continuing to make bad bail decisions when it comes to violent repeat offenders, that is a reason to file a complaint and have somebody removed from the bench, because now they're not following the Constitution. They're not following the law, and laws apply to everybody, including law enforcement, judges, lawyers, everybody. So if they're going to continue to not follow the policies and procedures in place, then yes, they can be removed.
We're visiting with Michelle Chopper from Texas Crime Victims United. I think the other thing this does is this will provide a lot of fodder for opponents of judges during political campaigns. Now you're going to have a track record of written decisions as to why somebody was routinely let out on bail, or why a judge's track record is to routinely let violent offenders out on bail. And I mean, we've all read some of the horror stories, especially in the Houston area. I don't know that we see it so much in maybe more conservative areas like Victoria, or certainly some of the rural counties on the No Bull Radio Network. But Houston, this has been a big problem with complaints that judges are just letting people out because they feel like it.
They just feel bad. Harris County, Travis County, Bexar County, these big, large urban areas where we do have a higher crime rate than most rural areas, it is a problem. And the victim population is exploding more than the offender population. So at this point, we have more victims of crime than we do actual criminals. So it's frustrating to see this happen over and over again. And it's frustrating to see that the resources are not there. And so when it's time to go and help people campaign for these seats, this is going to bring a lot of visibility into this is why this judge should not be reelected. These are decisions that they're making right now. So it is a problem.
We applaud you for being involved in this fight. I know when we visit with Ms. Conrad, it's just she's so passionate, obviously invested. We understand why she's in these types of battles. And now after visiting with you about, multiple times being held at gunpoint, I'm just trying to picture myself, Ash, if I'm working in an AT&T store and some young ruffian comes in brandishing a weapon, I'm not only helping that kid upgrade his phone, I'm reminding him not to forget his charging cube when he leaves. Like, can you just not come back for 2 weeks? Because I'm turning in my notice today.
Yes.
Give me 2 weeks.
It was really
absurd, right?
hard. Like I grew up in a very rough neighborhood in the 90s, in the middle of a very big, large gang war in our area. And I feel tough. Like I've always felt tough, like I always felt I could defend myself. I would always take it upon myself to defend others. So the decision to stay in my job, I'd have people ask me all the time, why did you stay? Well, I felt like a protector. So my sales reps that work for me, these are young kids. They're 19, 20, 21 years old. What job do you want to do? I like to play with phones. So they come and work in an AT&T store. These became my kids, like I'm with them 10, 12 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. Sometimes I see them more than my own family. And at the time I was a single mom. I had a toddler. It was on me to provide a household for my child. And it's my job. I still have to provide and I have to protect. And so when we would get robbed, there was even one time HR had a conversation with me. They said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, I don't understand what." "Well, we watched the video and you're just very calm, very just, compliant. Just seems weird that you're not." And I said, "Well, I freaked out the first couple of robberies. After that, it just became a norm. I was just numb. And my only concern was to not only take care of my kids that work for me, but to get home to my child." So they're not there. It's not my stuff. It's not my stuff. You can have it. I'm not
Right.
going to fight you for it. Right. So it's just like, hey, just get them in, get them out as quickly as possible. And then it just kept happening and kept happening. And that's when the questions started. Why?
The same
And
people doing it.
yes. And so a lot of people deal with trauma differently. For me, it changed everything, every aspect about my life. I don't like to be in large crowds of people. I can never work in a fishbowl type of environment of retail or something like that. I have a lot of anxiety, PTSD, but it made me very angry, and that anger turned to advocacy because I just couldn't
Amen.
have it happen to anybody else, and
Well,
so it
a listener
became
here says there needs to be stricter consequences to deter crimes from being committed. If they do it once and nothing is done, why wouldn't they do it again? We talked just this last week about the guy that the judge said, well, I can just tell. I look in your eyes and I can tell that you're a good person. No, he's not. He'd been arrested like 150 times.
Yeah.
And she was like, now I'm going to let you out. But if you do anything, 2 hours later, he hooked up with his old crew and went and robbed another house.
I was in Houston, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was in Houston. It's like, I mean, of course, I'm on the other end of that. I'm like, wow, you've been arrested 10 times and convicted. 9 of them are pled out. We're just going to go ahead and put you down. I'm sorry. I'm done with it. We've got to regain some semblance of control of our society. And of course, then they label me a Nazi for that. It's like, oh yeah. But I'm
a fake Democrat because I want law and order in my community.
amen.
I hear it all the time. But as I started to study the system, I realized that there's a lapse in every single part of the criminal justice system. There's loopholes, there's holes, there's misses, of course. And so until all of these things can be fixed, we're not going to have everything perfect. But the biggest part that needs to change is the community. The community needs to heal itself. Right now, there's too much excusing going on for bad behavior. Well, they grew up in a bad home, and then now, food stamps are stopping. People are poor. People are hungry.
We've
This is
got
going
to
to
steal
increase.
from HEB now. Got
Yes.
to. Yeah.
It's just a constant excuse of, well, they're poor. I grew up very poor. I didn't steal. I didn't rob people. I didn't kill people. It is a conscious choice that you make. So if you remove the accountability, you're excusing bad behavior. And then you have a lot of people that didn't grow up in the poor side of town. They're wealthy people. These are politicians and lobbyists or nonprofits and everybody else saying, well, we have to feel bad for these poor people so that they can sleep better at night, but not realizing that poor people are also the majority of the victims. So you're
That's
sending
right.
these people, violent crime is a crime of opportunity, and they go back and victimize their own communities more than anybody else. And so
I know lots of poor people that don't rob, steal, rape, pillage.
Yeah.
I do. I know lots of people that, and being poor is relative, right? I mean, being somebody here in this country who is viewed as poor, if you want to be poor, get your parachute. We'll take you to Jamaica. I mean, you can learn real quick what poor is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but even that, when I was younger, there was times that I spent on the street homeless, still did not commit crime.
Amen.
I was taught to be proud in what I could accomplish, have a strong work ethic, be dependent on myself, not anybody. Don't even be dependent on the government. It might not be there tomorrow, right? Like, so people are not going to, if their benefits aren't renewed because of a shutdown, then where's your fallback plan?
That's
And
right.
so you have to take accountability for yourself, be responsible for your own actions. And so when we continue to have people that excuse it, including our judges, they've never been in our shoes.
So where do you go from here? Obviously, you've worked hard. You guys have an amendment on the ballot. I think your amendment will be approved. I do. But I mean, what's next? What if Texans say, "Oh no, we can't have that. We've got to let these people back out. They're just like they say here. He was such a good boy. He's just turning his life around." What? How do you press on?
We'll be back in the 90th, and we're going to come back stronger than we were in the 89th session. This is not something that any of us are going to give up on. The goal for me is to continue to work with this organization of Texas Crime Victims United until we no longer have to be an organization, until we fixed everything. And we're all volunteers, right? So until we're able to say, hey, we feel safe now, we know that there's safeguards in place, we're going to continue to push forward. And I just hope and pray that it does pass. If it doesn't, we'll be back and fight even harder. I think the biggest, the one question that everybody has been asking, a lot of people that are having questions or opposing this amendment do not understand the part of there's a hearing involved. It is not required automatically by default to deny bail for these charges. There is a hearing involved. And so we're not taking away any liberties. We're not taking away any due process. You still have the same settings we have now. Bail hearings are held at the beginning of pretrial. If they are denied bail, they can appeal. And that appeals process is also very quick because they don't want to keep somebody in jail and oppress them, right? So all of this will happen pretty quickly. They're still going to have their hearing. They're still going to have their attorneys. They're going to be able to present evidence. And if there is just undeniable proof that they are a danger to the community, then the judge can use their discretion to deny bail. So you're talking, people are thinking it's a requirement when it's actually a discretion, and they have a hearing where they can defend themselves. So there's no loss of liberty.
I like that it puts the judges on notice that, hey, your actions have consequences. You need to be aware of what's going on. You need to review this perpetrator's record and understand where he's been. If he's been arrested 10 times and acquitted 10 times, that's one thing. But if he's been arrested 10 times and convicted 8, and he just, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I think a judge, that's why we have judges. They know more how to weigh these facts than we do. Mm-hmm. I applaud you because the people that have the most noble causes are often working to put themselves out of business. Mm-hmm. We have a friend here, jumps to mind, Trish Hastings, runs Christ's Kitchen. She would love to close the doors. She would love to say, I no longer need to feed the homeless in our community.
Absolutely.
You saying, I think that's how I know that your heart's in the right place. I hope that you will keep us in your loop as you pursue putting yourself out of business. We would love to have you on any time. So
we are here for the long haul. All of us are very invested in this. We've already started having conversations about what we want next session. So expect to see all of us again. The 89th was the first time that I saw so many victims band together to go and testify and fight for this. And we stayed hours just waiting to speak. And we stayed. We outlasted the opposition that had their pizza party and went home at 5:00. They clocked out and went home. We were still there on the streets of Austin, walking to our car when the whole city is shut down. We were still there late. So now they know that we're coming, and we're coming in force.
When victims band together and become vigilant and vocal, they're no longer victims. I'm certain that being a part of your organization is part of people's healing process. And I just applaud you for your courage and your steadfastness. I hope that you will come back. I know Ash and I were excited to have you on this morning. We've reached the top of our hour, but we would love to have you back. And with your permission, we'll call you again and get
Absolutely.
you back on air. Well, we appreciate it. I hope this is Michelle Chapa with the Texas Crime Victims United. And we wish you nothing but the best on the election. We'll keep promoting this amendment to the Texas Constitution.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
so
you.
much.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
So glad you were here. Wow, that was fun. And I mean, fun in that it's great to get somebody on who knows what they're talking about, who's enlightening. Notice that she's passionate, but she's not belligerent. She's not saying anything bad about anybody. She's just saying, hey, look, this is good. It gives the judge the authority to deny bail, but it does not infringe on anybody's civil liberties. It's a separate hearing. It's an appealable hearing. It's got to happen quickly because it'll be under constant review. You've got rights. I think it's great. I think
Chris Conrad asked a question that most normal-minded people
Yes.
ask: how's the action of putting or holding a criminal in jail oppression? It's not.
Amen. Andrew Alvarez with the quote of the day. Great guest. Folks, we love you. Welcome, Corpus Christi.
Welcome, Noble Radio Network.
Talk to you guys mañana.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.